what we all see is a huge amount of e-bikes on our streets. But do we know what's suitable for us? I'll be honest, I have no idea. So Focus e-bike is the perfect way to inform yourself about e-bikes and urban mobility in general. Thanks a lot for joining us, Stefan, the chief editor of Focus e-bike.
Hi Clemens, nice to meet you.
Hi Stefan. You were here last year as well. Why did you decide to come back to the GREENTECH Festival?
Because we at Focus e-bike belong where people are looking for ways to make the world a better place. After all, this is the second time, yes, we've participated, and yes, the GREENTECH Festival is really an inspiring place for people and ideas and innovations and companies and organizations.
Obviously, what we're seeing at your booth is a lot of e-bikes, right? But what is your product portfolio about?
Focus e-bike started out as a medium, as a magazine that deals with e-bike, but also with urban mobility in general. In the meantime, we have become an entire ecosystem together with our experts. We have developed Germany's biggest e-bike test. And we are currently building up a YouTube channel. We announced the winners of the Innovation Awards we initiated here at the GREENTECH Festival. And we also want to be able to experience our topics at events like the GREENTECH Festival here. So that's where we are doing a lot of talk sessions here at our booth, which are just more about recycling carbon and about modal trials in rural areas where people swap the car for e-bikes.
So a lot of to experience at your booth, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the life cycle assessment of an e-bike.
Oh, this is an interesting question. In terms of mobility, just walking or riding a conventional bike is more environmentally friendly than using an e-bike. E-bikes actually perform better than public transportation. According to a study, the climate impact of pedelecs is about 5 times lower than that of a public transport.
And do you face any political challenges with that?
Yes, of course. First and foremost, that the battery and the environment don't go together. Common e-bike batteries contain lithium and nickel and manganese and cobalt. These are relatively unproblematic substances. But contrary to what is often assumed, there are also no major environment problems when it comes to disposal. Recycling of the raw materials is basically possible.
And a lot of people putting a lot of hope into e-bikes, obviously, that they can kind of get cars out of the city and put e-bikes in there. Is that happening and possible?
Not for everyone, but many do. There's a study, pedelation, and this showed that in about half of all cases, respondents use their e-bikes for journeys they would otherwise have made by car or means of transport, but with higher emissions. At the beginning, after all, it was said that cargo bikes could primarily replace second cars. But we know from the e-bike manufacturers that many people also sell their first car and prefer to own 2 cargo bikes. For longer distances, they use car sharing, for example.
Yeah. What differences do you see between rural areas and cities?
There is a difference. There complete equality between urban and rural areas in terms of mobility will certainly remain an illusion. But there are currently lots of model experiments in rural areas as well, which are also being scientifically researched. As a media partner, for example, we are supporting the idea swap car key for an e-bike in Bayersbronn in the Black Forest. And it's supported by the University of Karlsruhe. It involves everyone from pastors and families to farm shop owners.
You see obviously a lot of new innovations coming up on the market. What's the next big thing in terms of e-bikes?
I think there are a lot of big things in terms of e-bike, but there is one thing, yes, it's cargo and logistics. And cargo and logistics are already the next big thing. More than 50% of all transportation trips in cities could easily be handled by e-cargo bikes, from Amazon to McDonald's and UPS to IKEA. Many companies are on the topic, and in 2020, more than 100,000 cargo bikes were sold in Germany for the first time, 43% more.
That's huge, yeah. What do you see, or what do you think about e-bikes and fuel cells?
As with cars, that's still a long way off. I think there is already hydrogen in a tube, and there are also fuel cells that are getting smaller and smaller. But these are still rather laboratory tests. And nevertheless, my forecast is that hydrogen will become an important and indispensable energy carrier for mobility in the coming years.
So still a long way to go, right?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
And now we're at the GreenTech Festival, right? What do you expect for your company and the Focus e-bike at the GreenTech Festival?
I expect that it's inspiring, and I expect to hear and to connect me with other people, because I think we are back a community for sustainability, and this is, I think, my hope to stay here for the next days.
What did you learn so far?
I learned so far that it is really a strong community. You can see big companies here, from Skoda to Telekom, from Nespresso to Focus e-bike, so we have to connect each other, and I learned that we have the same idea of sustainability.
That's huge. Thank you very much, Stefan, for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the festival.
Thank you, Clemens.